Good morning. My name is Kara Miller, and I am the chair of the Patricia Gallagher Children's Choice Award Nomination Committee. Just a little bit about myself. I am a library media technician in Corvallis at Husky Elementary School, soon to be Bessie Coleman Elementary. I chair the Patricia Gallagher Award Committee, and I also do children's book reviews for the Oracle. I really want to thank my committee this year. It was wonderful that we were able to meet in person. This is my second year doing this, and the experience from last year having to be on Zoom to actually meeting together this year, it was so wonderful and just a breath of fresh air. So I want to thank my committee members, Shannon Yeager, Catherine Inman, Christy Kegler, Lisa Ross, Nancy Strickland, Anna Moser, Carol Rosenberg, and Linda Eng for helping out and helping choose these wonderful books that we're bringing to you today. So just a little bit about the Patricia Gallagher Award, if it's something that's not familiar to you. For this award, it is a Children's Choice Award, so the kids love that because it's an award that they get to decide on. It's not adults who are deciding like most of the awards that are presented to them. So they get super excited about that information when I introduce it to them and tell them they get to vote and only their votes count. No adults get to vote. So they love that piece. So it is Children's Choice. When we look at books that are 10 years old or newer. So we have that extension. So all these books were published in 2012 or sooner, or closer to our date. So within the past 10 years. These books are also all available in paperback. That's one of our criteria that we do to keep our costs down so that people can purchase paperback copies at their local Barnes & Noble or their local independent bookstore and be able to have a set for their classroom or their library for a low cost. These books all need to be engaging for kids in grades kindergarten all the way through 5th grade. Often they are even used above that, middle school and high school. We always forget, or we don't always forget, we often forget that these picture books are so great, even for our great, strong readers. You know, picture books reach everybody. That's why I call them everybody books in my library. They are for everyone, and they have wonderful things to show all grade levels. So we look for books that are engaging for all the way from kindergarten to grade 5, which can be a little tricky sometimes. We do give preference to local authors. This year, I don't believe we have any local authors on our list, but we love to see the authors from the Pacific Northwest who have unique voices to share, and we like to celebrate those authors. We also balance our fiction and nonfiction choices so that we have something for everyone. We'd like to do fun stories that kids just really enjoy and think are humorous, all the way to, factual things that kids can really dig into. So we try to have all of those styles and really good, high quality read alouds for those kids. The votes themselves are individual votes. So when you read these books to a class, we don't have the whole class vote for the class favorite. We actually count every single kid's votes. So it's really fun that kids get to have their voice heard. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start introducing the books. So this year we are starting with this book. It's called A Frog's Life. This book is written by Irene Kelly and illustrated by Margarita Boren. This is a great factual book. It's going to really intrigue those kids that are really into frogs and science and biology because it has so much information, but at the same time, it has some really good ways that you can read this aloud to the younger grades. So, we start out, we have these beautiful illustrations in here. And we have some different texts. We have some texts that are more simple. and some that are more in depth. So right here we say frogs never have to drink. Their skin is like a sponge absorbing water as they sit in a pond or swim in a lake. But then if you want to go more in depth, if you have those older kids or you have an individual reader who wants to learn more, they can read all this detail about frogs. We have some great diagrams in there. We have beautiful illustrations, these lovely watercolors. We've got all sorts of examples of different types of frogs. So this is really going to intrigue a lot of your kids. Next, we have a book called Astronaut Annie. This book is written by Suzanne Slade and illustrated by Nicole Tagel. This book is a fun story about a girl who is having a career day at her school at the end of the week. She has to make some decisions about what career she wants to represent, what she really wants to be when she grows up. So she goes to her different family members and they ask for hints. They don't know what she's going to show up as at the end of the week. So they ask for hints and give her things that they think may help her. So her grandmother, she tells her that she's going to be someone brave. And her grandmother thinks of herself and how she is like a baker and a brave, bold, fearless cook. And so she gives her oven mitts for her costume. And then she goes to her father and she says that she would like to go to far off places. And her dad, who's always had this dream of exploring Everest, gives her a backpack, thinking that maybe it's something along those lines. So she gathers these pieces from her family and these qualities from her family. And then in the end, she shows up, as you may be able to tell from the cover, as an astronaut. This may be a fun book to actually not reveal the title of to kids and have them kind of guess at what they think she might be. Our third book is Where's Rodney? This book is written by Carmen Bogan and illustrated by Floyd Cooper. This is a wonderful book about a kid who lives in the city, and Rodney just has a really hard time sitting still. He has a really difficult time focusing. You might know some kids like this. He likes to be active and doing things. And his class is going to be going on a field trip to the park. Well, he knows the park. It's a little triangle with a couple of, wood structures in it. Not a big deal. But then when he goes on the field trip, the bus keeps going and it goes out to a large natural space. And this is very new for him. It's something that he hasn't experienced before. He gets to be outside. And I love this. There's this place where we have our opposite words here. At the park, he was higher. He was lower. He was bigger. He was smaller. And we see these opposites throughout and how overwhelmed Rodney is and how much he loves just being outdoor. This is a great book for all ages, but man, in that 4th grade and 5th grade groups where we're really pushing those parks passes, the Every Kid Outdoors in 4th grade, and there's some state park things for 5th grade, this is a great book to really incorporate those outdoor spaces, as well as helping kids to see maybe a life, if they're in a rural area, that they might not be familiar with. We might have a lot of green space, so now they can see maybe what kids in the city might be experiencing. All right, our 4th book is Give Bees a Chance. This book is written and illustrated by Bethany Barton. You might remember her book a couple years ago. She was on our list for I'm Trying to Love Spiders. Give Bees a Chance is just as fun and exciting, and it's going to have so many laughs from those kids. But at the same time, we get all that great information about bees. So it's one of those wonderful books where kids are learning about something natural, this is a nonfiction book, but they are having so much fun and laughing all the way through. So you can see some wonderful illustrations there. So Give Bees a Chance. And then our final book on the list is If Monet Painted a Monster. This book is written and illustrated by a husband and wife team, Amy Newbold and Greg Newbold. And this book starts out thinking about, okay, if you painted a monster, what would it look like? And then it goes into some of those great artists, those masters. If Edward Hopper painted a monster, what would it look like? If Whistler painted a monster, what would it look like? And it's a really great way to delve into different artists, different art styles, and kind of help kids to think a little differently about how they might create those monsters. And it has, even in the back, something that you can copy and make a canvas for kids to make their own artists or monsters, and information about the artists, which is great for extension too. You can teach kids all sorts of things. So, trying to go through this really fast, but those are our wonderful books. I'm so excited about them. Now, on the Patricia Gallagher website, on the OSLA website, when you follow the Patricia Gallagher link, you will find that we are putting up extension activities, ways that you can use these with your class if you want to just do more than just read, or you can just read because they're just wonderful books. All of the votes are due by May 1st of 2022. It's hard to think that far ahead. May 1st, 2022 is the deadline. And to vote, you can go on to that Patricia Gallagher page on the OSLA website, and we'll have a form to fill out just like we did last year. And it makes it super easy for me to tally those votes quickly and get our results. So I'm really hoping that you participate in this wonderful opportunity and bring these books to kids. Thank you and have a wonderful day.